What is going on, YouTube? Welcome back to another video. It's Thursday. Now, I didn't upload on Sunday actually because this video took me quite some time to edit. So I didn't want to rush it. So I told myself I'll skip Sunday and upload this one on Thursday. But yeah, here we are. We have a video on AA Spectrum, the brand. I'm going to be showcasing some outerwear and interviewing the creative director over at AA Spectrum, Kevin Tallon, who's currently based in Geneva. So yeah, it's going to be a really good one, quite different. Quite similar to the Outcomes first one that I did about a month ago. So if you guys haven't checked that one out, actually make sure to check it out because I really did enjoy that one. But yeah, I'm going to be looking to doing a lot of these ones, just people that are inspirational, people that work with brands, just so you guys can kind of get a first sort of glimpse and a sort of view on the designer themselves, kind of talking about their garments. I think that would be really cool. So yeah, sit tight. We're going to hop right into it right now. Why don't you start by sort of like introducing yourself a little bit and the brand, if you may, and then we'll take it from there, I guess.
Sure. I'm originally from Geneva in Switzerland, but with a British father. I started my whole career with skateboard apparel,
Wow.
brand. I was kind of autodidact. I just did it myself.
Mm-hmm.
I ended up in London. And I just wanted to study fashion because I felt I learned a lot, but I just needed that extra push. And I went to St. Martin's Menswear, and it was a fantastic time. And I just really learned about real creativity and concept design and research and all that kind of stuff. And yeah, it was absolutely brilliant. And then I while I was a student, I got a job offer for Catherine Hamnet, and then I worked a little bit, and I think a lot of my style comes from that. I worked with Maharishi, with Hardy Bleshman.
It's so interesting because, like, speaking of your experience and everywhere you've been and who you've worked with, and then looking at like the designs of AA Spectrum, it's definitely more so of like a young company. It does feel like a young company. Like a lot of the outerwear and a lot of the bombers is sort of like cool and like sort of what's going on today, really. So it's interesting to hear your sort of history and to see you now sort of at AA Spectrum.
Exactly. For me, at first, it was what I really liked is about, to be honest with you, is like the two, because I've been around in many companies and I'm a little bit like cautious about who to work with.
Absolutely.
And the two ladies who are running AA Spectrum, they're so nice. The name AA Spectrum is all about the spectrum.
Before I kind of got in touch with AA Spectrum, right, I kind of like came across the brand and I was automatically drawn to this jacket. Now, I don't know if it's because I live in Canada and it gets quite like intensely cold, So once I got it, I realized, well, first of all, like it's extremely warm. So was there anything that you guys changed from the previous sort of design to this new one? Because you're saying that they had to revamp it in a way. Can you talk a little bit about that?
For me, I'm a very concept-driven designer, so it was the concept of blending the East and West, and it's got some elements which are like a bomber jacket, and some elements are more like Eastern Asian. Yeah. The design itself, for me, I'm very detail-oriented designer, and the first thing when I saw the previous season, I'm very structural as a designer. So I just break things down and like, okay, there's that element that, it's like when you make food, right? Okay, what do you need to make pizza? And then you got all the elements. So I was a bit deconstructing their previous design, and there was these little labels on it, and the fabric was very very thin, like a sort of a taffeta, very lightweight. And I felt, that's a little bit, it doesn't work well with the heavy fleece. So my first thing was like, okay, I want something a little bit more, masculine and a bit more like. So the first thing was like, okay, I want to work on the fabric. I need something a bit more rugged. And that's like, the whole collection was like this kind of really, all of these, in China, there's all of these guys. They're always spraying on the walls little notes about, hey, I can repair your shoes, or I can clean your kitchen, and they're everywhere. These guangao, xiao guangao, so little advertising. and that was a lot of the logos on the prints are like this.
Very nice.
And yeah, I think it was just also I'm quite into quite clean and minimal design and make it long lasting, you know.
Right, so part one of the interview was quite straightforward. Kevin was just kind of talking a little bit about his background and him designing for AA Spectrum. Now, one of the things that I wasn't sort of aware of is that he's actually the designer behind the brand, but the brand is actually owned by two women based out of China. They have a factory there where they design all the garments. And he kind of touched on the Mongolian jacket, which I kind of wanted to elaborate on a little bit. Now, I absolutely think this jacket is perfect for anyone that lives in like extreme cold weather. Like, not only is it really warm, it's also quite stylish. One of the things that I noticed is that it fits extremely oversized. So anyone that's kind of looking to picking something like this, I would say definitely go a full size down, if not 2 sizes, depending on how you want it to fit, because the way it was designed, it was that it's already oversized. It sort of has this sort of like vêtement bomber silhouette to it, with the sort of like long sleeves and sort of the shorter cropped look in terms of length. But I absolutely think it's a great jacket to own. One of the other things that I would say, honestly, if you're looking for any alternatives, you would absolutely be able to find this at a thrift store in your local sort of city. I feel like the design of it is great and the sort of silhouette is amazing. But I think that like if you're not necessarily willing to pay that much money, you could absolutely find an alternative to this through thrifting, and it would cost you a lot less. Other than that, we hopped into this bomber that I'm currently wearing, which I actually noticed that you would much rather go a size up if you kind of wanted to fit a bit more oversized. So for this one specifically, for me, I went with a size large. It fits perfectly, but I feel like I could have even gone a size XL, especially because for me in the winter here, I love wearing hoodies, and this bomber would be perfect to layer with a hoodie. But unfortunately, a size large just fits just right. So if I have a tank top, or if I'm layered the way I'm layered right now, it looks perfectly fine. But if I had to add sort of like a sweater, like a thick sweater, I feel like it would be too tight, and I don't want that. So I definitely suggest going a size up with this particular bomber here. I think Essence still has a few sizes left, so definitely make to check it out. But other than that, it's a great jacket to own. I feel like it's super easy in terms of styling. Like, the way I would style this would be quite simplistic. Like, I would just throw on like one of my cargo pants, or you know, some trousers or some jeans, and I'm pretty much good to go, in some boots. And I've been actually getting a lot of wear out of it. Now, one of the things that Kevin touched on was, one of the questions that I asked was sort of like, what's the functionality and the straps purpose to some of these outerwears? Like, kind of like this one here, you can see it has like a little sort of like strap, and you can just button it up at the top here like this. But yeah, I kind of asked him a bunch of questions about that, and he kind of elaborated a little bit on the straps, whether it's just for functionality or aesthetic purposes. Yes, we want something stylish, but we want something that's gonna keep us warm as well. So talk to me a bit about like sort of that aesthetic.
That's interesting what you say, because I'm you know, coming from Switzerland, I'm definitely into, you know, Patagonia and like, you know, mountain gear. When you have the jacket you're mentioning, it's like, we want to have like, you know, some good insulation, and for sure it's never going to be as good as a Patagonia. Form follows function.
Yes.
Is that you're always going to end up with like a super nice neck that keeps you warm, and you can't really be creative. So I think it's that play between, you know, I have a vision or a creative idea, and then I have a mission to make a product that people can, you know, can wear.
All right, so after touching on the bomber, I kind of wanted to talk about these track pants right here. These were also sent to me and match with the bomber. I think this is a full set, but I absolutely love the track pants, man. I went with a size large on these ones, and fits perfectly. I'm 6 foot to 180 pounds, and this is just like one of those casual track pants that you can kind of dress with. You can dress it up if you want. Like, for me personally, since I love derbies, I've been wearing these a lot with my Balenciaga derbies, as you guys know. Or even I tried pulling them off with my Bottega boots, but I kind of didn't like how that looked. So I think I'm gonna be sticking with either a pair of sneakers or some derbies for these, but extremely comfortable. They're 100% polyester. I think these will run you about 280 Canadian dollars, give or take. Just under 300 Canadian dollars for a pair of track pants, but they're extremely comfortable, size large for me. I feel like these fit true to size. If you kind of want them to fit a little bit looser, they already fit quite loose. If you want them to fit a bit looser, you should size up and you should be good to go. But super simplistic, man. Love the color. I don't have anything sort of khaki like this in terms of sweatpants and in terms of track pants. So I was super happy to have these in my wardrobe. And I actually think that they look pretty good with the bomber, but other than that, super extremely comfortable track pants, man. I've been getting a lot of wear out of them. So far, like I said, I'm only styling them with my derbies, and they look pretty good with the derbies. They're a little bit cropped at the bottom. So yeah, so that's about it for the track pants, really. Alright guys, that is going to conclude today's video. Thank you all so much for tuning in. As always, make sure to subscribe and like the video, guys. It really does help the channel. I know I say that a lot. I am gonna probably be doing another video on how I would personally style these pieces. Maybe that will be Sunday's video. I didn't want to add the styling into this video because I felt like the video would be too long, and I kind of want to keep these videos around 8 to 10 minutes. So yeah, so thank you all so much. If you want to see some fit pics, you can definitely follow me on Instagram at GREGNTORE. I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace out.